Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our first story here. Let's talk about deepfakes. So deepfakes is a slang term for a technology. It's an AI-assisted technology that can take... You have two sources of video. You have a source video and a target video. The source video will make a facial expression or turn its head. And then the target... It's really weird looking. And then the target video will make the same expression and turn their head at the same time. Is it perfect? No. Will it be perfect? Eventually. It will be imperceptible to tell the difference between the two. This came out publicly in 2016. They said, this is technology we had. They used some footage where they made George Bush and Obama do different things with their head. And we saw what the source guy was doing. He was like yawning or just kind of moving his head. And then you'd see George Bush yawning and moving his head. And you can obviously it's not 100%. But any imperfections right now that you see in it, you could attribute to film quality issues. In 2017, and this is where the name Deepfake or Deepfakes comes from, there was a Reddit user named Deepfake. This technology is now consumer level. If you have a good enough computer, you can actually do this yourself. Deepfake began to take high-quality pornography videos and then took images of famous actresses like Gal Gadot and Emma Watson and Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, stuff like that. And it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of frames of your source and thousands of frames of your target because you have to match it up. You have to get all angles. You'd have to get like all angles of Taylor Swift's head. And then you have all the angles of the porn actress moving her head. And where you start to see the imperfections a lot of time is in the hair. Because I did watch this because it is quite odd to watch. You see imperfections in the hair if the porn actress moves her face in a way that the source actress didn't. You'll see a glitch because it's trying to fill in that information. The computer is trying to fill in information it doesn't have. And again, pornography is very, very high quality. Generally, it's shot very high quality. So the imperfections stood out a little more, but if they went with grainier stuff, like amateur stuff, it'd be very hard to tell. Not impossible, but hard to tell. You know, you're basically putting people in pornography without their permission, and that's true. So Deepfake was banned from Reddit. You can still you can get this software online. I think there's a couple of them out there. I have one linked in the show notes, but again, you need a fairly beefy computer to do it, but not like top of the line, and a lot of time because it has to take It says one example was you had to have 20 minutes of footage for both, and the footage had to be at 120 frames per second. That's how many frames you needed. Some people were just taking still photographs and putting them in pornos, and it looked horrifying. You need to have these things so when they turn their head, everything turns with them. There was a video that I saw today, which was the same thing, but the technology's advanced to the point where it's not facial. It is... You can do your whole body. So you had two people and they were getting all the frames they needed. Like the source guy would be like kind of moving around, turning around. And then the target guy would be doing the same thing, moving around, turning around. And then the source guy would begin to dance. And then you'd see a person who had never performed those dance moves ever in their life begin to copy that same dance. It was weird. I had a very uncanny valley feeling because I'm watching it and this person has never done this dance, ever. What you are seeing is 100% artificial. And you're like, Jason, yeah, but so is the ghost from House on Haunted Hill. That's artificial. But it's different because this has like a human head, and it's a human. But it's doing these moves, it's doing something completely unnatural. And because the technology isn't 100%, let's say that they had all the footage of the person dancing, but the computer never had an image of him with his hand held out, making a fist. When he held his hand out, his fingers are out. It will actually digitally bend the fingers into a fist, and it's just this weird blur. The computer's doing its best to create a copy of its source with the information it has. It's very, very unsettling. All those videos are down below. Even though I said they're unsettling, they're really cool to watch. It's a really cool thing of technology. Now, there's been two groups that have been very, very concerned about this. One group is the pearl-clutching media, who has announced pretty much since last summer when the Deepfakes thing came out. This is a threat to democracy. No one will ever believe anything that is video again. Deepfakes are a threat to democracy. That phrase is used in so many headlines. It's a threat to democracy. And then in the conspiracy theory circles, they're like, damn it. Now, when that Pizzagate video gets uploaded of Hillary Clinton eating that baby, no one will believe them. It's because deepfake technology may be fake itself. It may be a CIA cover-up. So when the footage finally gets released of Hillary Clinton eating that baby, no one will believe it. The excuse will be like, guys, it's just deepfakes. That was someone else eating that baby. Here's the problem with both of those things. This idea that video evidence is the end-all be-all of evidence, and it is regarded quite highly. It is. But the idea that it is a threat to democracy, let's tackle that one first. The idea that fake videos is a threat to democracy, that I can produce a video that is so realistic you can't tell whether or not it's true. Video evidence has been around for what? 60, 70 years? Humanity has been around for 100,000, 50,000 years, somewhere around there. Civilization has been growing. They were able to try people and end corruption and expose terrible things for millennia before video cameras came out. I get it. New technology is very scary, and there will be an adjustment phase. But the idea that someone can show, if someone put up a fake video of Donald Trump kicking a baby down the stairs of the Capitol building, this is exactly what would happen. Half the people wouldn't even watch the video. They would see the title of it and write in the comments, I knew it, Donald Trump is an asshole. The other half of the people who watched that video would say, what was the context of the baby getting kicked down the stairs? Or, I think it's fake. Video evidence can persuade some people, but to think that it is a threat to democracy, that somehow one fake video can bring down a world leader, I don't buy it. The only way that can happen is if a video was released and nobody disputed it in the media. And I'm not talking about like the mainstream media. I'm talking from the Daily Wire to HuffPo. Nobody disputed it. Everyone was like, there was multiple witnesses there. And actually, it might be a good thing, because I think video evidence can be used, but will also come down to, were there other people there? So if they show Donald Trump kicking a baby down the stairs, of course, Mitch McConnell's standing in the background, and they're going to be like, hey, Mitch, do you remember that? And he's like, no, that never happened. Generally, evidence is good if it's compounded with other evidence. But the idea that just this technology alone that you can get on your home computer will destroy democracy is ridiculous, because most people have their minds made up about issues before they go in, and evidence only reinforces the conclusions they already have. Now, as far as the conspiracy theory stuff goes, first off, the idea that there's a video out there with Hillary Clinton eating a baby, and trust me, that's just not something I'm making up. That's just not an example I'm like, look how wacky they are. I hear that example quite often. That doesn't exist. That video does not exist. And I'll tell you why it doesn't exist. Because if you ate babies, why would you record it? Well, it's because of the ceremony. No. Why would you record it? No, because the Illuminati. No. Why would you record it? With the information that you know about human beings, why would you personally record that thing? I don't want to hear about anything about secret rituals that you don't know about. I don't want to hear anything about secret cults that you don't know about other than stuff you heard off the internet. Why would you videotape that yourself? Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. A lot of times with these conspiracy theories, they'll make some outrageous claim, and then they'll go, Simpsons predicted 9/11. Why? Well, because the Illuminati says they have to predict all of their disasters. According to who? According to who? Well, I read it on, Henry Mackow's website. Henry Mackow's a lunatic, for one. And two, it's made up. I'm not saying the people trying to run the world is made up, and I'm not saying there aren't people that eat babies. But when you make an outrageous claim, you have to back it up other than someone said on the internet. Or an Illuminati defector said this. What's their name? Well, they have an anonymous name. Then it's made up. It's made up. There is no video of Hillary Clinton eating a baby. So when that video does get released, it is fake. It was a deep fake. There's a photo going around right now of Obama in full costume at some sort of satanic ceremony. And it's being used as proof that Obama is a Satan worshiper. However, conveniently enough, the costume covers his face. What? But it's Obama, apparently. And there's an overweight black dude in the background, and they're like, that's Eric Holder. What? But so, guys, I don't deny that there are powerful people out there who do horrible, horrible things. But you have to rein it in a bit. You have to rein it in a bit. If your goal is to expose Hillary Clinton as a baby-eating psychopath, that's not a good goal, because there is no proof of that. Now, listen, I'll admit it. I could be wrong on this, but I highly, highly doubt it. And if she is, there's not a video of it. There's not a video of it. And again, I'm going to go back to my original point. If a video does come out, and the media is like, that's a fake video, that actually didn't happen, that's deepfake technology, then you will have to make the determination whether or not you think it's deepfake, whether or not when you see those blurs and those artifacts, you go, those are blurs and artifacts that are part of the deepfake technology, or you say, well, that's just the problem with the film quality, or that's because of this or that or the other thing. But again, generally, I mean, there are people on the internet who believe there's YouTube videos of people moving their head, and because of digital distortion, they shapeshift. Their eyes turn into reptiles. So, I mean, they already believe that any sort of digital problem in a video footage is proof of reptilian blood. I want to say this too. The deepfakes thing is obviously up for debate. If you're like, no, we need to make sure that evidence is always 100%, feel free to leave a comment, drop me an email, deadrabbitradio@gmail.com. We can discuss this. This is my personal view on this. I just think that we've gone long enough without having video evidence being the most important thing. I think we can do it for another 10,000, 100,000 years. Until they start doing deepfake holograms, and then we're in real deep, deep trouble. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.